In 2013, a hacker sent an email to the world's biggest banks. The message was simple. We have stolen your money. Pay us or we expose your security failures. What happened next would expose a hidden war between the financial elite and a shadowy group of cyber criminals known as Carbanak. For 2 years, Carbanak moved through the banking system like a ghost. They didn't rob banks the old way. They didn't need guns or masks or getaway cars. They hacked straight into the central nervous system of global finance and stole over $1 billion. And nobody knew. This is the story of how the world's most secure institutions were compromised by a group of hackers so skilled that they nearly triggered a financial crisis before they were caught. Carbanak started small. In 2013, they targeted a single Russian bank. They sent phishing emails to bank employees, fake messages that looked like they came from trusted sources. Click the link, download the attachment. It seemed harmless, but it wasn't. The attackers installed malware called Carbanak on bank computers. The malware watched. It recorded keystrokes. It captured screenshots. It learned the names of employees, their passwords, their routines, their access levels. Then Carbanak waited. They waited for the right moment, the right employee, the right access point that would open the vault. When they found it, they moved fast. They used stolen credentials to log into the bank's internal network as if they were a legitimate employee. No alarm bells, no red flags, just another person at another desk accessing the system. From there, they escalated their privileges. They navigated deeper into the financial plumbing of the bank. They found the systems that controlled the flow of money itself. The SWIFT system, the backbone of global banking, the network that moves trillions of dollars between banks every single day. Carbanak explored the SWIFT infrastructure like cartographers mapping uncharted territory. They found the systems that initiated wire transfers. They found the systems that approved transactions. They found the vulnerabilities. Then they tested their access. They initiated a small transfer. Money moved. The bank didn't notice. They initiated another and another. Each time the money flowed out successfully without triggering any alarms. Carbanak realized something stunning. They could move money through the financial system without leaving a trace. They could make withdrawals that the bank's own security systems would approve as legitimate. Over the next 2 years, they did exactly that. Carbanak targeted 43 banks across 20 countries: Ukraine, Russia, Japan, Germany, the United States. They didn't hit every bank the same way. They adapted. They learned from each target. They became better. Some banks they robbed by manipulating ATM networks. They reprogrammed the machines to dispense cash at specific times. Then they collected it with a coordinated team of runners moving through cities in synchronized sweeps. Some banks they stole from by intercepting wire transfers mid-flight through the SWIFT network, redirecting the money to shell accounts they controlled. Some banks they compromised so thoroughly that they changed the internal audit logs. They erased their own digital footprints. They made it impossible for auditors to know money had ever left. The total stolen, over $1 billion. $1 billion. Moved ghost-like through the banking system, not all at once, slowly, methodically, in a way that wouldn't trigger alerts. Banks began to notice small anomalies. A customer complained that money was missing. An auditor found a discrepancy. A transaction seemed out of place. But by the time one bank figured out what happened, Carbanak had already moved on to another bank, another country, another victim. The FBI got involved, but at first even they didn't understand the scope. They thought they were chasing a localized criminal group. It took months to realize that the attacks were coordinated, sophisticated, international. In 2015, the first major public disclosure came. A bank finally went public with the attack. Then another, then another. The financial world realized it had been penetrated by a ghost army that had been stealing continuously for 2 years. Investigators traced the malware. They tracked the communication patterns. They found the money trails. Carbanak used cryptocurrency to hide the flow, but they also made mistakes. Some transactions led back to real people, real bank accounts, real locations. The investigation led to Eastern Europe. Multiple arrests were made. A hacker known by the alias Carbanak was identified as a key member. Another member, known as Rescator, was apprehended. Others scattered. But the investigation revealed something even more disturbing. Carbanak wasn't just one group. It was a confederation. Hackers shared tools. They shared techniques. They shared access. When one member was caught, others simply took over the operation. The genius of Carbanak wasn't that they were unbeatable. It was that they understood something fundamental about the banking system. Banks are designed to prevent theft from the outside. They have firewalls, they have guards, they have surveillance, but they are defended by humans. And humans have weaknesses. Humans trust other humans. Humans reuse passwords. Humans click malicious links. Carbanak exploited those human weaknesses to get inside. Once inside, they found that the financial infrastructure itself had a blind spot. The systems trusted that employees wouldn't steal. So the controls were weak. The audit trails were limited. The verification processes weren't designed to stop an insider threat. Carbanak was the perfect insider threat. They had all the access. They had all the trust. And they had the technical skill to cover their tracks. The banking world changed after Carbanak. New security protocols were implemented. Behavioral analysis systems were deployed. Multi-factor authentication became mandatory. Access to sensitive systems was restricted. But the lesson is simple and terrifying. The most secure systems in the world can be breached by a single phishing email sent to the right person at the right time. No firewall is stronger than the weakest link in the chain, and the weakest link is always human. Subscribe for more true cybercrime stories, legendary hackers, digital mysteries, and cybersecurity investigations.